Joining me right now is the former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors under President George W. Bush. Now he is the senior fellow at the Hoover Institution and a professor at Stanford's Graduate School of Business, Ed Lazear. Ed, good to see you.
Nice to be with you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
So much to talk to you about in terms of the economy, where you see growth. But first, how are you remembering Barbara Bush this morning?
Well, of course, I remember her well. Most of the time that I got to be with Mrs. Bush was in family gatherings, parties. I remember 4th of July parties at the White House that were actually the birthday celebration for George W., whose birthday is July 6th. And we would always get together with family and friends, and it was just a terrific time. What I remember about both Mrs. Bush and President Bush Sr. is just the class, the unbelievable amount of grace and sophistication, but in a friendly American way that they had. And I think that's what I would remember most about her. President Bush said about his mother, you talked about her wit, her charm. It's hard to say it better than that. I just remember her as a woman who had just a positive and unbelievably influential effect on the country.
Yeah, and somebody said earlier, tough as nails, which I totally agree with as well. And I want to turn to trade. This is the story of the moment, obviously, ahead of the more trade talks. Today, with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, President Trump took to Twitter to criticize the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He wrote this: while Japan and South Korea would like us to go back into TPP, I don't like the deal for the United States. Too many contingencies and no way to get out if it doesn't work. Bilateral deals are far more efficient, profitable, and better for our workers. Look how bad the World Trade Organization is to the United States. Your reaction to the president's hard stance on this?
Well, bilateral deals are generally easier to negotiate, in large part for the obvious reason that when you have many parties trying to agree on something, it's hard to get everybody to agree because everybody has their own special agenda. That said, the multilateral deals do accomplish a lot. And I think most of us, when I say us, I think most in the economics community believe that something close to free trade is beneficial to all countries. To the extent that the president is using this as a way to bargain to get tariffs down, I would say there may come some good out of it. So, you know, if he is effective in lowering tariffs rather than raising them around the world, that will be a good thing. But threats aren't free. We know that they can sometimes backfire when the other side doesn't acquiesce. And so I would say that the key thing here is to get this to lower tariffs and to lower barriers rather than to raise them.
So I mean, that sounds like that's what he's doing. I mean, when you look at what he's doing with China, for example, everybody gets this in terms of what China's been doing all of these years, right? Was that the right move?
Well, again, it's the right move if it works. It's not the right move if it doesn't work. I think if we end up imposing high tariffs on China, we are cutting off our nose to spite our face, and that would be the wrong strategy. You know, he'll look like a hero if he is able to negotiate China into a more open economy. But again, I think that's something to be seen. He you know, fancies himself a great negotiator. We'll see if he can deliver on this.
All right. Let me ask you about the budget and federal spending. People are up in arms about the omnibus bill. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is now shooting down plans to try to take back some of those billions from last month's $1.3 trillion spending bill. McConnell was on with Fox News' Neil Cavuto yesterday. Listen to this.
He agreed to it. You know, he was involved in the negotiation and signed the bill.
But he warned, I'm never going to do this again.
Yeah, but we had an agreement with the Democrats, and I don't think you can...
surprised by what he said when he came out and criticized?
You can't make an agreement one month and say, okay, we really didn't mean it.
Isn't that interesting? The president's here talking about we're going to claw some of this back. He just threw cold water on it. Over in the House, Congressman Mark Meadows said that he thinks a rescission package of $10 to $15 billion, $10 to $15 billion, which is obviously a drop in the bucket when you consider it's $1.3 trillion, but he thinks that that has a chance. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know whether it has a chance or not. That's more on the political side. What I'll tell you from the economic side is this. What we know is that the most harmful thing that you can do in terms of economic growth is increase spending. It's not the deficit, it's not taxes, it's spending per se. And the reason for that is that the more you spend, the more you have to tax. Eventually, you have to tax. You can do it as a deficit in the short run, which means that you borrow, but eventually you have to pay back those loans. So spending has to be paid for. That means higher taxes. Higher taxes mean lower capital formation and less work. And both of those point to less growth.
Wow.
So fundamentally, unless we control our spending growth, that is without question the biggest threat that we face for long-run economic growth. So whether we do it through short-run measures that may help alleviate things slightly, or whether we actually get on a more sensible trajectory for the long run, I think remains to be seen. But I would say that it's the latter. It's really constraining long-term growth that's going to have the long-term growth in spending that will have the longest and most durable effect on long-term growth.
And we know that there are no plans in place that we know of controlling entitlement spending, and that's where all the growth in spending is. Real quick on growth.
Yes.
Characterize it for us today. The tax plan, rollback in regulations, how do you see it?
Well, the tax plan was a move in the right direction. But again, it's a relatively small move unless it's coupled with spending reduction. Now, the reason it's a move in the right direction is what it did was it replaced inefficient taxes with more efficient taxes. The worst taxes you can have in terms of economic growth are taxes on capital. Because capital is mobile. When you tax capital, it moves overseas, and that hurts our economic growth. So that's the good thing about the tax bill. Again, I hate to be a broken record here, but unless we focus on long-term spending growth, we're not going to get the kind of bang for the buck that we were hoping to get out of the tax cuts.
All right. Biggest risk to growth is increased spending. I like that. Ed, it's good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Come back and visit us in California. I need some free labor time from you teaching my class again.
That was a lot of fun. I loved coming to
We enjoyed
Stanford.
it.
Thank you so much, Ed.
Yeah.
Ed Lazear joining us.